All right, so finding the GCF. If you don't have to make a table, then don't, because I promise if you have to make a table for every single problem, you will not finish your test next Friday, okay? Some of these numbers are going to be small enough that you should be able to see what the number is. So 9, 3, and 24. Let me show you how quick this problem could have been. What number is the smallest? So if I make a table for my 3, what's the only numbers that can give me 3? So always start with the big side of your table. Can 9 be divided by 3? Can 3 be divided by 3? Can 24 be divided by 3? Can I have a number in my 3 table bigger than 3? So can my GCF be bigger than 3? So what is my GCF? Because I could divide all 3 numbers by 3. Okay. My second one, you might have needed a table. Let's just think out loud. Any numbers. What numbers can I divide by 18 and 24? Both of them. What can I divide them by? 6. What else? 2. What else? 3. So all those numbers I can divide both of these by. But what did you say the biggest one is? 6. If 18 has 2 x's and y has 3 x's, or second one has 3 x's, how many x's can they both give? 2. So that would be x squared. Okay. Questions? Okay, so today what we are doing is we are using the GCF to find new information. So your directions will say factor out a GCF. What does that mean? That means I am finding the GCF, but I'm also telling you what's left over. Okay, so we're going to do 3 problems. So my first problem will say 3x squared plus 12x. So I need a GCF of 3x squared and a GCF of 12x. So I have a 3 and a 12. What's the biggest number I can divide them both by? 3. If one has 2 x's and one has 1 x, how much can they both give? 1 x. So my GCF is 3x. Everybody on the same page, okay? Now, what do I do with that GCF? Factor out in a way means that we are going to divide by my GCF. So I'm undistributing something. That's what we're doing. So my GCF is 3x. So I'm going to divide both of these terms by 3x. So do your numbers first. What is 3 divided by 3? Write it. If I have x squared and I take out an x, how many x's do I have left? So just an x. What is positive 12 divided by 3? Positive 4. If I start with 1x and I take 1x out, do I have any x's left? No. So this is what is left over when I factor out my GCF. Your GCF has to go in the front. So this right here is my GCF in the front. How do I know I did it correctly? If I distribute my GCF into my parentheses, it should be what I started with. So what is 3x times 1x? 3x squared. What is 3x times 4? 12x. You see that? Okay. So when I ask you to factor out a GCF, I'm basically asking you to divide by the GCF and tell me what's left over. So let's go try another one. So here's what's going to be a little different about this one. Write it down, but don't get started yet because we got to talk about something. 6m to the 4th minus 3m squared plus 9m to the 5th. So just like the last unit we do, before you do anything, it has to be in order. Okay, so your problem needs to be in order before I start anything. How do I make it in order? It has to go from big to small exponents. What's the exponent? What piece on here is the exponent? Nobody knows. The very bitty, itty bitty number. So your exponent's this itty bitty number. So I have a 4, a 2, and a 5. So what exponent has to go first? The 5, because it's the biggest. So I have a 9m to the 5th. That's going to go first. 9m to the 5th. What's going to go next? Plus 6m to the 4th. And then last will be my negative 3m squared. So you need to write them in order from big exponent to small exponent, okay? Now we need to find a GCF. I have a 9, a 6, and a 3. What can I divide all those by? By 3, very good. How many m's can every single person give? 2m, so 3m squared is my GCF. So what am I going to do with my GCF? I'm going to go divide every single thing by that GCF. So start with numbers. What's 9 divided by 3? 3. If I have 5 m's and I take 2 out, how many are left? So m cubed. What is positive 6 divided by 3? Positive 2. How many m's will be left? Squared. What is negative 3 divided by 3? Negative 1. Will I have any m's left? No. That goes in parentheses. And what goes in the very front? 3m squared, my GCF. Okay. Questions? We're going to do one more problem. All right, so last one, then we're going to try some on our own. Negative 10x minus 5x squared plus 25. Can I start this problem how it is? No, take 10 seconds and write it correctly on your paper. 10 seconds to write it correctly on your paper. Why does the x squared have to come first? It's the biggest exponent, okay? Exponent, not coefficient. I don't care about the big numbers right now, okay? Here's where I need you to freeze and listen. Your GCF. I have a 5, a 10, and a 25. What can I divide all those numbers by? Listen to me right now. If the first term is positive, your GCF is positive. What is my first term? So what should my GCF be? Negative. It'll make it easier next week if you start doing that now, okay? Do they all have an X that I can give? No, so that can't be in my GCF. So I'm going to go divide everything just by negative 5. So what is negative 5 divided by negative 5? 1, positive 1. X squared, am I taking any x's out? Nope, so I'm left with x squared. Do I have to put the 1 in front of the x? No, but you can. What's negative 10 divided by negative 5? positive 2, and I keep my x. And then what's positive 25 divided by negative 5? Negative 5 in parentheses. And what goes in the front? The negative 5. Okay. Questions. If you need to write down here, then write down GCF is negative if first number negative. That way you remember, why is that one negative? Okay. So GCF is negative if your first number is negative. So in your packet, you should already have a lot of these papers done. We have already done our graphs. These should be finished. If not, you are now very far behind. You should have graphs and solutions all done. Excuse me. Yesterday we worked on tables. If you didn't finish tables, I would maybe go do a few of those. Today, you are working on this paper. Write today's date at the top. It says factor out the GCF. Okay, factor out the GCF. I will leave my answer key on the front desk. I really need y'all to check your answers today because one small number can change it. And we've got to be able to do this before we can move on tomorrow. Questions? Okay, I want you to try. And if you don't understand, then of course I can come walk you through another problem.